Hey, what's up, everybody? Quick kind of clear up real quick. I got mixed up on some names. In one of my previous videos, I said Henry V started the Church of England. It was actually Henry VIII, so mix up on that. And in my Texas video, I said that Calvin Coolidge started Calvinism. I fucked up on that one, too. It was John Calvin, so sometimes I get a little dyslexic, or I don't really know what the word is. I fucked up a little bit, but anyway, clear that up, you know. I knew John Calvin started, but for some reason I said Calvin Coolidge, so there you go. But anyway, this is going to be my Mormon video, about how fucking Mormonism is so insanely nuts. But I could tell you the story of Mormonism, but it'd just be like, you know, shit I read about on Wikipedia and shit like that when I was growing up. So I don't want to make it boring. I want to make it a little bit comical, and I came up with my own kind of a funny version of how they started it, but it was, as I read it out, it wasn't as good as this one I found in Lewis Black's Me of Little Faith, which is a good book you should read. So I figured I'd just go with what he says, because he's a whole lot funnier than me. So just bear with me. I'm really lazy. I came up with my own, but I decided this was better. So I find it really tough to swallow the story that the founder of the Mormon Church, Joseph Smith, tells of how the prophet Moroni appeared to him and told him where to find gold plates, which were buried 1,400 years prior to their meeting, and on which was written the text that would become the Book of Mormon. Smith is instructed not to do anything with them yet, but he goes to get them anyway. Lo and behold, the gold plates vanish. Smith says he got greedy, so apparently he fucking sold them. Still, Moroni tells him he'll give him another chance, and he should return to the very same spot of their meeting every September 22nd. Are you following this so far? I am trying to keep it simple. So Smith goes back each year and meets Moroni, who tells him what God wants him to do with the plates, but still, Moroni doesn't give him a second set. This goes on for 3 years. Then Smith is told that next time, maybe, and it's a big maybe, mind you, he just might get the plates, if he does what God wants him to do, which is to marry a young woman that Smith just happens to have the hots for. Okay, here's where the fun comes in. And this is my favorite fucking part. The young woman's father won't grant the daughter's hand in marriage. Would you? Who wants their daughter to marry a guy like that? But the daughter defies the irate father, and the lovebirds elope. This seems to do the trick. In 1827, at the age of 21, Smith returns to the spot, and Moroni shows up and gives him the plates. Apparently 19 folks claim they saw these plates, and 8 of them say so at the beginning of the Book of Mormon. Don't get too comfortable. The story doesn't end there. Moroni tells Smith that his next job is to get the text on the plates transcribed onto paper, but since it is written in some kind of Egyptian language, Moroni gives him glasses that will allow him to translate. Alright, so not only do you fucking talk to angels in the middle of nowhere, but they give you magic glasses to transcribe magic plates. And this next part is in parentheses right here, and this is how I feel about it. By this point, incidentally, I feel as if I am knee-deep in bullshit, and that's where that ends. So, Smith begins to translate the text while his neighbor takes down his dictation. They finish 116 pages, then the neighbors loses the manuscript. For God's sake, make it end. Anyway, Moroni had taken the plates and the glasses back, so Joseph had to get him to give those sacred items back to him again, even though he is now screwed up for a second time. It is believed the neighbor's wife threw the manuscript out, and quite frankly, who could blame her? This story is a little hard to swallow. But Moroni doesn't give him the glasses, so now in order to get the translation, Smith places a stone in a hat and sticks his head in the hat and puts the plates near the hat. This is fucking crazy. Just saying. Finally, big drum roll please, the words appear in the hat. And by 1829, the translation of the Book of Mormon is complete. Keep in mind, history tells us that all of this is the work of Joseph Smith, who had been convicted of fraud after being paid to locate buried coins of silver or gold and was unable to do so. Oh, and he was using the same stone, by the way, during that ill-fated incident they used in his Book of Mormon hat trick. So I think you might see why this sounds a little bit far-fetched to me, and this is also in parentheses. You can find a more complete telling of this tale, incidentally, in John Crowker's fantastic Under the Banner of Heaven, but I pretty much hit all high points. Oh, and one more thing. According to this translation of plates, done by a man staring at a stone in a hat, a large group of Hebrews left Jerusalem and sailed to North America. Eventually they split into two groups. One was white and one was dark, the dark group being Native Americans. Now each group was led by one of two brothers, the dark one jealous of the white one because his father made the lighter guy leader of the tribe. Then, who should arrive after the resurrection but Jesus himself? Also, this again in parentheses. I guess he was an avid tourist. And he converts them to his teachings. They live in peace for a while until the darker ones turn their collective back on Jesus and a war breaks out and the dark ones slaughter all the white guys. And this is also in parentheses. This no doubt is why blacks weren't allowed to become priests in the Mormon Church until 1978. And also, blacks weren't even allowed to join the Mormon Church until like 1963. Seeing as how black people are demons. This all seems like nonsense, and it's incomprehensible to me what draws in converts from around the world. It's an all-American religion, and its roots are very, 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 very white. There's something Disney-esque about it. I don't know if it's the Fantasyland Temple or the Davy Crockett aspect of crossing the country, looking for new frontiers as they were hounded out of settlement after settlement. All religions require a leap of faith. I'm not saying that Moses' burning bush is any easier to believe than the gold plates. But this one seems to need a rocket pack to make the leap. The tour of the temple mentions very little of the history of the religion. It's presented as a Christian religion steeped very deeply in traditional family values. The girl in Gingham, this is a previous story, but anyway, I'll just touch on this, was one of the happiest people I ever met, and even my unorthodox behavior didn't faze her. Faith can bring a real joy to people. But if you don't believe, then you feel like you're in Oz, and you're the only one who doesn't believe in the wizard. Now, I know the whole story of the Joseph Smith hat trick and the gold plates and shit like that, because somebody once tried to get me to go to a Mormon church with them and wanted me to become a Mormon. And I probably don't have enough time to tell this story, but whatever I don't get to, I'll get to in my next video. This dude wanted me to join the Church of Mormon. I didn't, but I hung out with him for a little while, because he was an alright guy at first, I thought. Then, one day we got into the subject of black people. I can't remember how, and I said about how I didn't have a problem with black people. But apparently he very much did. And I'm actually running out of time pretty much. I'll tell you this story in the next video. Alright, so peace.